As you know, we have to blur some of the faces of persons who participated in the events of that day because we don't want them to be retaliated against and to be charged by the DOJ.
And yes, that really just happened in real life. Yes, we have a Speaker of the House saying we are releasing the footage the way we are because we don't want a narrative to be built. And that's why, as we release it, we're going to only let people see it physically at the Capitol in person, and we're going to release it in little bits and pieces because we got to edit out and blur out people's faces that are guilty of crimes because we don't want them to get targeted by the DOJ for their crime breaking. So yes, we're going to talk about all of this throughout this, but let's watch this from the beginning, why don't we?
I think the January 6th committee was a partisan exercise. They claim that it was bipartisan, but I think we all recognize that the two Republican members that served on that committee had another agenda.
Yes, they did. He's saying it right out loud. They did have a different agenda. Their agenda was the truth. Your agenda was protecting your demigod, Donald Trump, and all his participants in breaking the law.
I think that what we got was a biased report. I think they hid some of the important evidence. And look, we want the American people to draw their own conclusions. I don't think partisan elected officials in Washington should present a narrative and expect that it should be seen as the ultimate truth on it when we know that they hid certain elements.
When they hid certain elements, now he's going to go on to say how he's going to hide certain elements from the public so that they can't get in trouble for breaking the law. Yeah.
The release of the January 6th tapes is a critical and important exercise.
And that's why they ain't gonna put it on the internet like a normal fucking person would. So let's not pretend like they're trying to get the footage out to the people. They're the ones trying to set the narrative by doing this kind of shit.
We want transparency. We should demand that the American people do. We trust, House Republicans trust the American people to draw their own conclusions.
Which is exactly why we've made it so no one can go in and see this stuff and make them at all.
They should not be dictated by some narrative and accept that as fact. So they can review the tapes themselves.
Again, at the Capitol, in person, 40,000 hours of it that you gotta parse through, in person. Who's got time for that? That doesn't live in Washington, D.C. Huh? They know that's not even humanly possible. For anyone but like an investigative journalist working for the New York Times. And what, they're just going to call the New York Times fake news, fake news.
We're going through a methodical process of releasing them as quickly as we can. As you know, we have to blur some of the faces of persons who participated in the events of that day because we don't want them to be retaliated against and to be charged by the DOJ and to have other concerns and problems. So that's a slow process to get it done. We're working steadily on it.
The only thing they're working steadily on is crafting the narrative exactly the way they want to, while they blame the other side for doing that exact same thing. That's actually the Trump playbook right now. The entire Trump Republican playbook right now is I know you are, but what am I? Or I'm rubber and you're glue. Whatever you say to me bounces off of me and sticks to you. That's the Republican friggin' playbook.